Okay, well, this time has drastically changed how we all operate. You know, over the last kind of 8 to 10 weeks, things have shifted beyond all recognition. So, Andy, why don't you give us a few things that have you found helpful in this time? You know, there's so much disruption to work and family life and holidays and things we may have planned. But what about a few positives, just to start with, the things that you have found that have been good at this time?
Yeah, I think it's one this pandemic has impacted everybody, but in very, very different ways. Some of us are actually finding ourselves busier than we ever have been before. Some of us are finding us with nothing to do. We've actually completed Netflix. You've kind of watched the whole thing. So very differing experiences really of lockdown, and depending on who you're on lockdown with as well. For me, the habits have been really important. I think first of all is about trying to have a routine to my day has been really important. Trying to make sure I get up early in the morning and get on with the day. I mean, I've got 2 young kids, so it's been quite an interesting idea to be trying to homeschool whilst working full time. Bit of a challenge there. But again, it's been the importance of having family meals, trying to reiterate that importance in our family. That often we'd lost something of that. We're trying to have lunch together as a family each day and an evening meal together each day, which has really helped to solidify our relationship as a family. Normally the kids would be off at school eating, we'd be eating different places, but really having that time together to share our own lives, our own stories, I guess, during that time has been important as well. And I think that for me, it's about my own spiritual disciplines. Actually, how do I create time for godliness? I love it how in scripture, time and time again, there are these moments of transition in different character stories, thinking about Daniel in Babylon or thinking about Joseph in prison. And in these times of transition, the world changes, but we also see that the main character changes a lot as well. And my hope is that as we're on this time of lockdown now, is how not only will the world be different, but how will we be different when we come out of this lockdown? What will God have done in our own lives? And about creating space really to reconnect with Him, to go deeper with Him, and to really kind of see what new things can we instill in our everyday lives that might go on to impact us for the long term.
That's really helpful. And I think just a very short testimony from my kind of last 8 or 10 weeks is I think I've learned some things about myself over the last 8 to 10 weeks, some of which have been good and some have been not so good, painful truths maybe, some unhelpful habits that maybe had formed. And not that everything is sorted and perfect now, but just a chance to look in the mirror and maybe to assess what really matters as well, what's really important. We can sometimes get so sidetracked by so many things, and those things are no longer operating or no longer important. So for me, I think it's been a real time of looking in the mirror and assessing some things about myself. So.
And it can be a really scary time, really, because I think we're often so busy doing life that we don't ever have time to really reflect and to think about who we are or who we're becoming. And we're actually running an Alpha course as part of our church. It's been helpful because people are asking these bigger questions they haven't asked previously, because the sense of actually, who am I and what is life really all about? And who am I becoming? And I think also for me, my work's often about traveling a fair bit. And I haven't been able to travel at all the last few weeks. So it's kind of maybe very much more home focused and trying to make sure that I'm not defined by what I do, but defined ultimately by who God says I am. And that's a massive challenge for me as well, being reminded again, actually, my true identity isn't in what I can accomplish or achieve from a laptop on a Zoom call, but ultimately in who God says I am.